My name's Gina Meacham. I'm the store manager, and I would like to introduce the mayor of San Francisco and the newly elected Lieutenant Governor of California, Gavin Newsom.
Did you start? Oh, was that me? Supervisor, I'm not ready for this. Welcome, everybody, and thank you. Just getting the acoustics down. Thank you all very much for coming out today on this special ribbon cutting. Supervisor Maxwell and I were colleagues on the Board of Supervisors when this project was first brought up. I remember the controversy like it was yesterday. Originally, as you know, and Lowe's closed, just don't listen to this. This was supposed to be, I know, Home Depot. Exactly. Get over it. Exactly. I knew it'd be like saying the Dodgers in San Francisco or something. And people immediately started to line themselves up in camps. Those that just couldn't imagine a Home Depot, could not imagine a big box retailer in the city and county of San Francisco. I remember all the community meetings up on the hill, all over, not just Buena Vista. We were all over the city having community meetings about the fate and future of San Francisco and what kind of city we wanted. Were we a city of neighborhoods, or were we just going to find a suburbanized San Francisco as our future? I mean, that was really the debate. And Home Depot had to come to the table. Had to spend a great deal of time with Supervisor Maxwell. They had a little harder time with the other supervisor because he wanted nothing to do with it at the time, period, exclamation, was never going to happen. But Supervisor Maxwell was open, but wanted to make sure if there was ever going to be a retailer like that or a big box like this, that there had to be some strong commitments to the community. And those commitments didn't just need to take shape in a private meeting, they needed to be on paper. They needed to be in writing, and we needed to make sure the attorneys were there so that all those commitments were enforceable. Then Home Depot, out of nowhere, decided to take off, just like siren and that engine, and just get at, say, all that work, they said we were done. The macroeconomic of the world started to change, and they decided after all they had gone through the entire process, all those whips, those arrows, those slings, and they went through all of that, and we had this incredible entitled project, every single thing approved, all those commitments, and the supervisor, I remember the day after that announcement, I think we were on the phone or talked, I know you're on with Michael Cohen in my office saying, well, what do we do? And we got this call, and it was too good to be true, from Lowe's, who said, you know, we may be interested. And we thought, we literally remember that conversation saying, can you believe this? I mean, we actually may get Lowe's, but we all thought, we were pinching ourselves saying, yeah, this is too good to be true. Because there was a lot of disappointment because of the commitments that were made and the negotiated agreements in terms of the construction jobs as well as the permanent jobs. And we had gone through all the hits, all the politics of this. And we finally, and the community was very supportive out here, overwhelmingly so. Not unanimously, but overwhelmingly supportive. And we felt it was time to follow through on our commitments to the people of Bayview Hunters Point, particularly 94124 area code. And so days became weeks, and weeks became a short month, and folks in the mayor's office and my office and Supervisor Maxwell's office came together, and Lowe said, we're willing to accept all the commitments that previous folks made. And they actually didn't, we thought, okay, here we go. They say, Lowe says, we'll commit to everything, but then we thought they'd start to unravel. And they'd pull back, well, except for this, or except for that. But the reality is, Lowe's said, we'll commit to what they committed to, period, exclamation point. And we'll follow through. Watch us. And here we are, and Lowe's did exactly that. The local hires, I think, are without precedent of any big project, Rhonda, in this city. I mean, this is real on the construction side and the permanent jobs that are being created. And that's a pretty extraordinary thing. What, there are 211 or so jobs? And 88% are just from in and around the area, not just Bayview, but up the hill, around the hill, Excelsior, Potrero, all around. It's an extraordinary story. And I'm really proud of Lowe's. I've always been like the supervisor. We're not jumping up and down for big boxes. We'll be candid. You know, we love the sales tax. We love and this is a big deal. But, you know, we are sensitive to what big stores do because you guys are so good that, you know, some of the little guys can be impacted. But this location was the right location. This location, this boulevard, needed the economic stimulus, needed the anchor. And what you're going to see, you're already seeing it. Look at all the fresh paint across the street. Trust me, it didn't always look like that at the floor tile place. All of a sudden, everyone's, you know, sort of wants to look a little bit better. And you're going to see in the next few years this boulevard take shape. And if Lowe's continues to be the employer that they've proven to be to date, then a lot of families are going to benefit because of the jobs that are created because of this. And so thank you, Lowe's, for following through on all your promises. So far, you're one of the good ones, and we want to keep saying that for years and years to come. I thank Supervisor Maxwell for getting in the mix and holding strong, because it wasn't easy, those board votes, and I became mayor, and I was watching on 26 those votes, and man. And to Rhonda and her team and all the commitments on the workforce training money and the day laborer program, all those new trees we're going to get. Thank you for holding steadfast in that again. And abstention, Michael Cohen, who really worked his tail off, and Jen Matz and all the folks in my office that helped make this day possible. I'm grateful and I'm thankful. And this is just another, Supervisor, we're on our way out. But this year, we've had the best damn year. This is like 1998 again or something. I mean, out here in the southeast section. And there's so much to be proud of and thankful for. And so, again, Supervisor, this is a special day, I know, for both of us and for you. So thank you. And with that, your supervisor, Supervisor Sophie Maxwell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I remember like yesterday those 5 to 6 votes. But what made the difference was the community. What made the difference was young community developers and hard hats and yellow vests lining up the walls, 60, 70 of them, and each and every one of them speaking about the opportunities that they wanted to serve, that they wanted to become working people, that they wanted jobs, and they wanted a leg up. And that's what this store was about. And so that's what I remember. I remember 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was all worth it. It was all very, very worth it. And I could hardly find a parking place in here. That was really great. So I'm really excited about what's ahead. And this boulevard, you're right, it's going to be, we're working on it becoming a home improvement district with Lowe's being the anchor. And so I think you're going to find a lot of fascinating things happening in this area and in this district. So again, I want to thank the mayor, and I want to thank all of my colleagues. I remember especially Supervisor Aaron Peskin, because you know, the so-called progressives, they don't really like economic development that much. They like programs. And so Aaron said, oh my goodness, Sophie, this is going to be rough. And I said, Aaron, you represent these people that are standing here. And he did. He represented them, and the vote was 6 to 5. So again, I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank all those people who are going to come here, and the 50, I think 50% from 94124 and 94134 and 9107. Thank you for all of that.
And to ABU, thank you. To Local 22, thank you. To Local 261, thank you. To RSR Construction, thank you. To Derek Smith, thank you. To all of you, thank you very much. And now we're going to hand it back to Lowe's. And then we're going to have the ribbon cutting. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you. With all of that, we just want to thank everyone. First, from the city of San Francisco for welcoming us. We opened the doors, and it has been wonderful for the past week hearing all the comments from the customers about how excited they were to come into Lowe's and how they look forward to come into Lowe's. But I want to thank the community and the neighborhood for welcoming us and letting us come in. I want to thank the Honorable Mayor of San Francisco and Sophie Maxwell, the District 10 Supervisor, for welcoming us. I would also like to thank the PAC and the CAC for fighting for our site and supporting us and looking out for the community. I'd like to thank Rhonda Simmons and her wonderful entire staff of the Office of Economic Workforce Development for their guidance and support. And I'd like to thank YCD for their partnership and their relationship. They built a wonderful relationship with Lowe's. I'd like to thank Derek Smith for his guidance with this whole project. Without your advice, I think we'd be wandering through, wondering where to go. I would also like to thank my district manager, Tom Wilson, for his support and guidance, and our RVP and our SVP, who couldn't be with us today, for their guidance and support in this store. But most of all, I'd like to thank store construction and the store employees and their families for the hard work and dedication and the hours away from home that they spent building this store. And it was a wonderful experience to bond with our group that were from this community. I would like to thank Malcolm X Academy for allowing us to do a superheroes project at their school, where we repainted and rebeautified the elementary school and planted for them and helped them with their nutrition project. But I would like to present to Thorogood Marshall High School a check for $1,000. And that is Marcus Blacksher. If you can come up. From us to you, thank you so much. And many more, right? Absolutely. We would also like to present to the San Francisco Clean City Coalition a $5,000 tool donation. Now, Lowe's would like to have the mayor and the district supervisor do our board cutting ceremony.
I thought we had saws.
One saw.
My kind of Congrats, everybody. Go shopping. Go shop in the neighborhood as well. Refreshments